Good evening. Welcome to today's NGX Daily. I do this at the end of trading after each market day. I'm running you through the key points of the day's trading session on the NGX. Thank you for everyone who takes out the time to like, share, subscribe. Please keep doing so. Every time you do so, it moves this content or brings this content to a bigger audience. But do note, as much as you find this content useful, interesting, educative, hopefully, I believe I am doing so. Do note, nothing I say is financial or trading or personal finance advice. How do the markets fare today? For the fourth day running, fourth red day, all share index fell 0.38%. Now, the index measures the average performance of stocks on the exchange. Some stocks will do better than the index, and some stocks will do worse than the index. 795 million shares valued at 35.1 billion naira were traded in 28,944 deals. Who led the gainers today? Oando up 9.99% to close at 46 naira 80 kobo. Closely following it is ASO Savings up 9.3% to close at 94 kobo. On the losing end of things, three stocks fell 10% today. Cadbury down 10% to close at 62 naira 55 kobo. Chams down 10% to close at 3 naira 51 kobo. International Breweries down 10% to close at 12 naira 60 kobo. On the volume side of things, Wema Bank led the way, 305.7 million shares traded. GTCO, parent company of the popular GT Bank, at second place, 97.9 million shares traded. On the value side of things, 2Gs. Geregu Power led the way, 8.76 billion naira worth of shares traded today. GTCO closely following Geregu with 8.71 billion naira worth of shares traded today. Well, so far we are in the middle of earnings season, peak earnings season. Earnings season meaning you have lots of companies delivering their report card for the last quarter, the financial statements for the last quarter. UAC 9-month 2025 earnings 159.5 billion in revenue and 5.3 billion in profit after tax. Seplat is an oil and gas firm, 3.5 trillion naira in revenue and 146.6 billion in profit after tax. Firm has proposed an interim dividend of 7.5 US cents, just in case you're finding it hard to read that. Now, some context on this: 5 cents usual quarterly dividend, 2.5 cents is special dividend. Dividend policy of this firm has been amended where feasible. Seplat will now be paying a special dividend twice in the year. Aradel, still in the oil and gas space, 538 billion naira in revenue, 245.1 billion in profit after tax. Interim dividend of 10 naira a share. Qualification date November 20, 2025. Payment date November 28, 2025. Wema Bank, Tier 2 bank with a profit after tax of 127.4 billion naira for the 9 months ended September 2025. Access Holdings, parent company of the popular Access Bank, filed its 9-month 25 earnings. Firm made a profit after tax of 447 billion naira, slight dip from same period last year. Custodian with a profit after tax of 45.6 billion naira, a slight increase from the 44.6 billion naira recorded in 9 months 2024. Ladies and gentlemen, we had some breaking figures, so permit me to break protocol. I know people don't like it when I break the protocol and when I leave the slides, but these numbers are so key. It would be unfair, literally unfair, to not cover these numbers. I'd start with MTN Nigeria. Let me go to the MTN Nigeria. Breaking news. MTN Nigeria will be paying an interim dividend of 5 naira a share. Qualification date 20th November, payment date. Qualification date, yes, 20th November, payment date 28th of November. What is it about the 28th of November and having companies pay their interim dividends on that day? Is it preparation for Christmas spending? I don't know, but it's all good. Having money in your pocket is all good. Remember, cash rules everything around me on this exchange. So really, I found this number surprising. I was expecting H125 2026 next year. That's when MTN will pay back to paying his dividend. But see the numbers that we have are pretty decent numbers. Let me go straight to this. Can I blow it up a bit so you can see? Revenue wise, remember in millions of naira. So every figure you see add 6 zeros, 3 or so, 3 zeros to that. So what you have here is 3.7 trillion in revenue for 9 months 25, profit after tax 750 billion naira, pretty decent. But the Q3 numbers for me are my focus. 1.35 trillion in revenue and 335 billion naira in profit after tax. That all comes down to an earnings per share of about 16 naira for Q3 2025. This to me is just it's amazing, because if you assume that this is the constant run rate for this firm, it simply means that FY26 earnings per share could be 64 naira. So the question is, if this company can do a 64 naira in earnings per share for FY26, what multiple should they be trading at? Should they be trading at 7 times earnings, 8 times earnings, 10 times earnings? Who knows? Let's go look at, if you're a follower, I've been going through my beginner series. Let's see the retained earnings for this firm. Back in the green. Back in the green. Let me see if I can fish it out. What do I have from here? Yep. So you can see it retained earnings as a 9 months 25, 142.7 billion naira. Last year was in the red. And you can see in total equity, 293 billion naira in equity. Last year was negative. Let's see if we can work out what this figure amounts to. 5 naira a share, and you have what? This is like 21 billion shares. 21 times 5, that's 105. That means that of the retained earnings, they're paying like 105 out of it. That's most of the retained earnings, but it's okay. It's all good. That's MTN Nigeria. And so let's quickly dive into. I don't have much time. Okay, I can push this video to 8 or 9 minutes. Let's go look at UBA Q3 2025 numbers. Africa's Global Bank. I think that used to be one of the headliner. Gross earnings, what do we have? 2.4 trillion for as a 9 months 2025. Profit after tax, 537 billion naira. So pretty decent numbers. What are the numbers you look out for in the bank? You look at interest income. Interest income is flattish, slight increase. This is like what, 60, 70 billion naira increase, 68 or so. Why is this what happened? Interest income is up, interest expense also up. So not, I mean, this should be better. High interest rate environment, interest income should be better. So I need to dig into this. Fee and commission income, marginal increase. Why is that the case? Why is that the case? You had a bump in fee and commission expense. And it's trading income down. That's normal. Stable exchange rate. Earnings per share, what do we have? That's what people want to know. Earnings per share of 13 naira 56 kobo. And this is a stock that is trading at, let's see what it closed at today. 39.75 EPS of 13.56. I don't have the Q3 numbers. Typically, it would have been nice if they put Q3 numbers. I guess we'll dig into that later in the weekend. I'm trying to figure out what is the run rate, what will be the full year earnings per share for this firm. Ladies and gentlemen, that's pretty much about it. Back to the slides just to show you a few things. The rest of the coverage. This post goes up by 7 p.m. On the podcast, and it goes up by 5 p.m. on Substack. So whichever, there's something for everyone. There's a time zone for everyone. 5 p.m. on Substack if you don't have the time. 7 p.m. on audio, Spotify, everywhere audio if you don't have the time. 8 p.m. last batch of things on YouTube and the Twitter handle, Greenticker Twitter handle. Thank you all. See you tomorrow.